I said I would focus on my art going forward, and so, as promised, here is a mermaid. I create all my drawings with pen, just a regular ink pen you would get in any office building or school will do, and I shade very lightly. Most of my drawings are projections from my mind, meaning I project an image using my imagination onto the page. I use certain anchor points in the picture to make the image stay in one spot until it's completely traced from my imagination. I hope that makes some sense. It's hard to describe exactly how the drawing comes to be, but essentially, imagining a window to another world is how I project the image. Each drawing is a window into a thought, fantasy, emotion, ideal, or divine vision. I've always been fascinated by mermaids. They are a unique monster from myth and legend, and oddly enough is featured in every culture on the planet, much like giants, dragons, and ghosts are featured in all ancient myths from China to Alaska to France to the Middle East. Even obscure island countries have some sort of legend of the merfolk. Most of the stories say the mermaids are half fish and half god, or from a race of gods with blonde hair and blue eyes that stood 9 to 10 feet tall. Some stories say the Atlanteans turned themselves into fish people before the Great Deluge in underground caves after the Younger Dryas meteor impact as a way to survive. Other legends claim of a creature called Lady Melusine, which I'm drawing right here. Many people related to nobility claim direct genetic lineage to Lady Melusine, my ancestors included. Some people believe if you're related to merfolk, as the ancient legends say, you're more likely to have green eyes and unique genetic attributes such as extreme beauty, high intellect, and many other strange and mysterious artistic gifts. Whatever you believe, these old myths are fascinating, and even to this day, many noble families claim direct lineage from Lady Melusine the mermaid, and in countries like India, some nobles claim direct lineage to a fish race, which is very, very fascinating. Chimeric creatures from a precursor race that eat sailors after singing them into the rocks, ancient survivors of an old apocalyptic event, or just the entire planet unified in a delusion in the ancient world and believing in a boogeyman. I suppose you can decide which is true. When I was a child, I was fascinated and terrified by the thought of mermaids, a half-humanoid creature who is not man nor beast, but some machination in between. That being said, have you ever heard of Aqua Bounty's Technologies? It's a real-world company that has created a genetically modified organism, a salmon. This salmon is part insect, though we don't know which insect as the company has not yet disclosed this information. The Aqua Bounty's Technology salmon grows twice the size of its God-created counterparts, much like the mermaids of old are said to be 10 to 15 feet taller than regular humans. The Aqua Bounty's Technology GMO salmon is also extremely aggressive, and much like the mermaid of myth, eats its God-created counterparts with great prejudice. It also eats and consumes the eggs of the God-created salmon, wiping out native populations of salmon. I know about Aqua Bounty's technology because they wanted to release their salmon into the natural salmon runs of Alaska a few years ago. The company, of course, wants to have a larger fish to sell. Larger fish, more profit. Makes sense. Though we do not know what parasites this GMO salmon will be susceptible to spreading to humans, Aqua Bounty's Technologies does not seem to care. When I was a child reading ancient texts after school, I understood this technology was possible, but was vaguely hopeful I would grow old before seeing any chimeras arrive. Because without very many exceptions, the vast majority of the chimeric myths and stories I would peruse over from ancient times involving human chimera are extremely violent and remind me of a zombie apocalypse of sorts, except with half-human creatures and lots of, shall we say, untoward horizontal interactions, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Bounce, chicka, wow, wow. Think of a world with centaurs, minotaurs, snake people, and mermaids. Flying women and monsters with the cunning of men and the cruelty of badgers. bird people that establish cities. It's enough to make one shudder to think that not only are some of the ancient monsters real, but if you have already returned from the pre-flood era to haunt us once again. And if you think I'm lying, just Google Aqua Bounty's technology and take a look at the salmon they created. It kind of looks a little messed up in the face compared to a normal salmon. You can tell it's just a bit off. It, it looks like the giant Down syndrome version of salmon. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this art. Please like this video, share, subscribe, comment down below because it really helps with the AI overlord algorithm, and I would just really appreciate it. I'll be making a Patreon soon. I've just been very busy this week around the house doing things for the family. And if you're interested in any drawing that you would like me to draw, just leave your request down below. I will draw a picture that you request.